Hello, everyone. Rachel Jensen here. We are just wrapping up with the Panama Discovery Tour. Day 4, I guess it is. We started on Wednesday evening, and today is Saturday. As you can tell by my voice, we've done quite a bit of talking over the last couple of days. I've done a tremendous amount of traveling around the country as well. Folks are just finishing up at lunch right now. I'll get a quick break, and then we're going to be heading off to do a tour of Panama City. So it's been a really exciting time. Groups having a fantastic time. We have about 25 folks in total, and it's just been a really great group. We obviously miss you here at the live session, but hopefully you've been able to catch up with the recordings and the photos and the videos. There's a tremendous amount of more footage that you're going to be getting, but we have been so far here in Panama City. In addition, what day was it? Thursday, we went to the teak farms in the Darien province and on the east side of the country. So that was pretty exciting, something very different. On Friday, we flew from Panama City over to David, checked out the Highlands property there, Grand Highlands, over between David and Boquete, and then made our way up to Boquete. We had to improvise a little bit because our plans for Friday afternoon were supposed to be on the swinging bridge, but unfortunately it rained a little bit and it was slippery. So our team decided to grab some beverages and get on the bus and drive around and check out different destinations in Boquete. Hopefully you received the day 3 recording and the photos. We were able to see some of the cool sites that we were able to explore. Is really unexpected what we ended up doing in the tour, but we ended up having a great time going to coffee farms, checking out some awesome rock formations, trying really great coffee. I know we went to the coffee farms, but trying that great coffee, that geisha coffee. In addition to that, we were able just to see the charming town of Boquete. Now, I know here on the Q&A, we were going to do this live, but really what's been happening over the last 3-4 days is we've just been having folks ask us questions throughout. So while we're on here live, folks are currently resting in their rooms right now. And I figured I would just bring you some of the questions that were asked and provide the answers over to you. So we'll just start at a general overview about Panama. Panama is about 4.3 million people at this point, about the size, a little bit smaller than South Carolina, a little bit smaller than Ireland, if you're a European who's tuning in. So hopefully that helps with size. It's a very unique country because instead of the typical east-west where we have Atlantic on the east and then the Pacific on the west, instead we have the Pacific and the Atlantic north-south. So on the north side of the country, we have the Atlantic. On the south side of the country, we have the Pacific. So it just makes it very unique. When we were in Boquete, we saw Volcan Baru. We didn't get to climb it. We didn't get to the top, but it's one of the highest points here in the country, and you are able to hike it. You can take the car up if you want, but from the top of Volcan Baru, when it's not too cloudy, you're able to see both oceans. It really is quite neat. So Panama is a very metropolitan, Panama City is very metropolitan here. You'll see some footage throughout the next couple of days, just getting a little bit more of a handle on the city. But we have the skyscrapers, we have banks, we have a lot of industries here. It's a very international space. So typically you will find that English can be spoken in more of the tourism spots, but traditionally you will hear mostly Spanish. That was one of the questions we had early on: is do I need to know Spanish? Am I going to feel comfortable if I don't? We're here in a group, so it adds a little bit more comfort as a group if you don't know Spanish. But I would highly recommend, if you're planning to spend time down here, that you are learning Spanish, or at least learning some of the keywords so that you're able to stay in tune. And even if you just go to a restaurant, know what it is they're asking, if you want food, if you need a bathroom, any of those little details that really, can be done and can be learned. In addition to that, I was asked about banking, and banking here is possible as a foreigner. You are able to get a bank account open. I would highly recommend working with an attorney in order to do that. We can certainly set you up with a legal coordinator. It's just a little bit more difficult to do as an American to get a bank account on your own. Once you become a resident, it definitely becomes easier, but just to go through those nitty-gritty details, I would highly recommend a legal coordinator. In addition to that, we did have our legal coordinator here on the teak tour with us, so she's able to spend the day with us. She helps people with anything from setting up a company to residency programs. And also setting wills. I would highly recommend you setting up a will in the country. You do need to be here in person to set up that will, but if you're owning property here, if you have a bank account, doing any sort of business where you have assets in Panama, I would highly recommend getting that will set up. And you do need to be here in person. She'll be able to help you with that. Feel free to reach out to us if you would like her contact information. Another question that came up was the change to the residency, the Friendly Nations visa. So with the Friendly Nations visa, right now it's an investment of $10,000 invested in land. There are other ways you can get it, but that's one of the most popular ones people are doing through the TEAC program. Do note that that is going to be changing in August 2021. So maybe you're listening to this recording a little bit after that time. And once that comes August 2021, the change is going to be you have to invest $200,000 or more in real estate. We did get clarification that it has to be in one investment. It can't be multiple investments throughout the country. It can't be something you invested in 10 years ago, something that you're investing in today. It needs to be one single investment. So just something for you to know as you're looking at your residency options. In addition, there's the pensionado, which is great for people who are retired. You cannot work when you're in country under pensionado for a Panamanian company. So just something to bear in mind. You need to be able to show that you have a pension coming in from a public or private company of $1,000 or more. And then if you have dependents, you have to add it you have to add $250 to that. So if it's you and a spouse, then you need to show there's a pension of $1,250 coming in. I have some people ask if they can use investment funds or anything along those lines. If you have a rental house, for example, and you know that you're getting that money in on a monthly basis, but it does need to be from a pension from a private or public company. There are other residencies too. We're happy to discuss those with you. I'll put you in touch with the legal coordinator, but at least wanted to give you the high level overview. In addition to that, when we made our way over to Boquete, we checked out the Grand Highlands property. It is a beautiful property, about 110 acres on a slight decline. So you drive into the property, you're at the top part. The left-hand side is reserved for the community orchards, the gardens, artisan market. The right-hand side is reserved for condo buildings. We'll be putting in an artificial lake there for people to swim and enjoy, a yoga palapa. And then when you look around, you just have incredible views of the mountains. There's even one location on the property where if you look through and you look down, you're able to see the ocean. So it really is quite stunning. But we went over to the tiny home location. There are going to be at this point, two phases. There could certainly be more down the line. But the first phase is slated to break ground in the next few months. And then hopefully about 6-7 months thereafter breaking ground, we'll be releasing another phase of tiny homes. But it's beautiful. There's a river on property. There's a creek. There's already an orange grove. And there will continue to be community orchards and gardens. In addition, so right now we're starting with the tiny homes, but there will be the condos that I mentioned, hopefully later this year launching that. And then we also have single family home sites. So if you're somebody who wants to build your own custom home, or perhaps the tiny home is just a little bit too small, let us know. We can reach out to you with the availability in the custom lots, and perhaps you can find something that best suits you. So that's just a real high overview of the conversations we've been talking. As you can probably tell, for the last four days here, there's a lot more that's been going on, but we're going to put together some great footage for you to capture some of that. Please also review the Panama 101 webinar if you haven't. Request the Panama handbook if you haven't gone through that yet. That'll be a great way for you to learn more about the country. And then if anybody has any questions, reach out and our property consultants will be in touch to talk to you more about the country, the opportunities, and see how they best line up with what you're looking for. All right, everybody, have a great rest of your day. I hope I get to meet you in person at some point. If we did have the chance to meet in person before, well, then I look forward to meeting you again. Bye, everyone.